Sidekick Media Services. We are your sidekick in business for social media, video production, and more. Find out more at sidekickmediaservices.com.
I'm your pal in the mainstream media.
And I'm your Riz.
And you know, Riz, it takes years of strenuous, dedicated training before you're worthy to step inside a professional wrestling ring. But it takes even more time to develop complex, highly astute opinions about professional wrestling. Am I right?
That is correct. You know where we can find that?
Yes.
In the Wrestling Ham.
That's right.
Sidekick Media Services. We are your sidekick in business for social media, video production, and more. Find out more at sidekickmediaservices.com.
Hello, friends. I'm your pal in the mainstream media.
And I'm your Riz.
And you know, Riz, it takes years of strenuous, dedicated training before you're worthy to step inside a professional wrestling ring. But it takes even more time to develop complex, highly astute opinions about professional wrestling. Am I right?
That is correct. You know where we can find that?
Yes.
In the Wrestling Ham.
That's right.
This show is a member of the Sorgatron Media Podcast Network. Find out more at sorgatronmedia.com. This show is brought to you by Slice on Broadway, supporting Pittsburgh podcasting with the perfect pepperoni pizza. Production services by Sidekick Media Services. And listeners like you, supporting us at patreon.com/awesomecast. Time to get geeky, get awesome. It is the AwesomeCast. I'm Mike Sorg at Sorgatron on all the social medias. All of them? All of them? Yeah, let's just say all of them. And we're here at the Sorgatron Media Studios in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, ready to get geeky with you. First of all, let's go to the line. With us is Dave Podner of the iPhoneography Podcast. How you doing, Dave?
Good, Sorg. Thanks for having me on.
I almost plugged your other thing by accident, but we'll save that for Patreon. I just the habits, right? And also back in the studio. It's so good to have friends in the studio again. Warm bodies in the studio. Kit Mueller is with us. Co-founder of Skill Builder, was it? Yes. And, of course, the Pittsburgh Startup News, which is something that I glance over every week and see if there's anything that, one, I understand, and two, is good for the show.
I'm glad to hear it.
So, you know, some of it's very high level, let's say. I'm like, oh, a meetup about robotics. Oh, that's for people that make robotics. Okay, no. I'll stay home for that one. So, no, Kit, it's good to have you back on. Thanks for coming in.
I'm glad to be back. Thanks.
Awesome. So, like, we're going to get into our awesome things of the week. And, geez, where do we start? You want to start? Let's start with something fun. Let's start with something that's probably going to waste your time.
Okay.
Okay. This is one that, oh God, now I don't have it up. So I think this, I don't know how I came across it. It came up in my feed. I think they might have been talking about it on our podcast like a month ago. If you ever heard of the webdesignmuseum.org.
No.
No? It is wonderful.
Check this out.
Websites from, and I recently went to the Computer History Museum back in, God, what was that, like September or something? So I'm kind of on this like old school, and you see right there on the front page is the old like Bondi Blue Mac, Apple website, old Google, YouTube, things like that. There's a McDonald's website from 1996,
Sure.
and you just say this was, this is what the companies were doing back then. And it just looks freaking wild. And I don't know how much of this is flash. And it's all screenshots. Oh, there's actually a video. Let's play the video of the McDonald's website. So it is actually scrolling through in what looks like an old Netscape Navigator.
Yeah, exactly. 1.0.
Oh, man. Look at all that stuff. In Internet Explorer 2.0, it says. This thing is ridiculous. You can do apps. I love, and you probably love this too, Potter, because I do a lot of work up in there's early Instagram, and the first thing is University of Michigan, and I spend a lot of time up there with the one job that we do every year. So it is,
and everything's so clunky.
it's so big. It's so
And the
huge.
screens were so much smaller back then.
I know. Yeah,
That's the crazy thing.
This is wild. So so you can follow them on social media, and they'll pop up like new ones in the feed. So I'm just like scrolling through, and I saw like the Apple one and stuff like that.
Wow.
So this is like, it's a more complete, like of course there's the Wayback Machine Archive.org has that, right? This seems like, I mean, it's still, so it's going to be more, you know, a little more complete, not interactive or anything like that, but still like, what a time capsule that is. I don't, there's even speed tests is in here from the apps and everything like that. iPhone and Instagram for iPhone in 2010 is this one. They have software as well. I started poking through this for the first time. This is kid. I don't know. Are you experienced? Have you opened a lot of old Adobe and Macromedia products in your time?
Yeah.
And so you're very familiar with
Very
that.
familiar.
I forgot how nostalgic seeing the splash screens would be.
Sure.
So if you're on audio, I'm looking at a splash screen for Macromedia. Yes, Macromedia Flash 4, right? This is from June of 1999. I really, once I got to the Dreamweaver, Macromedia Fireworks, this is amazing.
This is fantastic.
This is so much fun. It's such a trip down memory lane. That you do have the front pages for Netscape Navigator. Adobe Go Live 4.0 that was a web designer, wasn't it? I think
It literally was.
like that was their answer to Dreamweaver and front page, right?
Yeah.
Jeez, this is incredible. Old Photoshops. I mean, I've probably been doing Photoshop for 25 years at this point. So, you know, and it's that thing you stare at when that old clunky Mac is, you know, this is 1999. There's a lot of 99 in here. You can go by year. There's at least, I think maybe on the websites, it went back. Here's Adobe Photoshop from 1992, Adobe Photoshop 2.5. Jeez.
Oh, and not Netscape Mosaic. They also have NASA, NCSA,
What is that?
National Center for it's the National Supercomputing Group that actually developed the web browser before it got spun off in Netscape.
Oh, no. Yeah. Because I think I came in around Internet Explorer 3.0. You know, when they really started, like, you know, kind of integrating, you know, the internet into Windows at the time. That was the big thing, right? Widgets and all that kind of stuff. So X Windows system, jeez.
It's just a reminder for anybody building on the internet, like ship it, right?
Yeah.
You know, the old adage,
Yeah.
if you're not embarrassed, you've shipped too late.
Yeah.
Like, look at what the tech titans of the world were shipping. Like, just get it out and then improve and iterate and learn and iterate.
Absolutely. Especially like a lot of these formats, like web browsers was so new. Software for web browsers was so new. Windowing systems were so new in the, let's say, early to mid 90s, right?
Yeah.
You'd say like
Mid-late, yeah.
that was a generally new skill probably.
Yep.
a Macintosh. When did Macintosh come out first? So was it in the
84.
84.
84, but Windows, true Windows, the 3.0 and 3.11 got really popular was 92.
Okay.
At Windows, kind of Windows as we know it, right?
Right.
Right.
Yeah, because they were just like kind
Because
of
Windows 1 was painful.
It was painful, and it was more just kind of like a general shell, From,
Yeah. Well,
from
so
my
was
understanding.
so was Windows 3.11.
Oh yeah.
I remember that you had to boot up DOS.
Yep. Yep.
And then you had to boot up Windows on top of it.
That was the scary part because, I think you could automate it that it loaded into Windows automatically, but you had to know what you're doing in the first place. To that point, typing WIN and enter wasn't a big deal for that.
Yeah.
We layered an operating system on top of an operating system back then.
Right.
We were nuts in doing all this stuff on there, right? So, and they all came on floppies. With my hot 40 megabyte hard drive. Jeez. Oh no. Anyways, no. This is a lot of fun, and I feel like we're gonna lose a lot of time with something like this for you guys out there. Oh no, here's some cool stuff. Here we go. Let's get a little more recent with this. Here's some Yahoo Messenger action here. That is again iPhone in 2010. a lot of bubbles, a lot of large icons, and that's the thing. Like you are kind of missing the you don't have an iPhone 2, 3, 3G in your hand to understand why this looks so crazy, right? Like there's literally just like the Facebook is just like 6 icons, or I'm sorry, 9 icons, and that's it. The feed shows 2 posts in the Facebook feed. It's not multimedia. It's barely got images at this
Wasn't
point.
responsive, wasn't dynamic, had to refresh. I mean,
no, it was crazy. Here's a Macy's. Here's there you go, stock ticker. This was a big thing. They really loved apps that looked like other things. Apple was doing this, right? The notebook app looked like a notebook.
right.
Like you had all this wood grain everywhere. This is an on this day calendar for the iPhone in 2011. Really leaned into that idea where it looks like resembles a paper. Look at the little fold at the bottom.
Totally.
And I think that's an info button maybe down there. Yeah.
Yeah, info button.
It just reveals it with a little page fold in the corner.
It wasn't until iOS 7 where they went away from the skeuomorphic design into more of a flat design.
That's right. That was the word for it. Jeez, what a look back there. So,
It was fun.
then again, if you look back at the video version of this podcast in 2012, it'll probably also be cringy too.
I mean, I don't know how many people go into the game center in iOS, but there was someone who worked to make the green felt look like green felt.
Really.
Like it was a gaming table at a casino.
Yeah.
Oh,
On your phone.
On your phone.
On your
Yes.
phone.
Oh,
Yeah.
jeez. Here's the last couple ones real quick. Here's the Apple. Look, hey, the
Well,
brand
the
new
I hate to say it,
Speed
but
of Light Power Mac
those
G4.
things were so classic. They're like, I hate for computers.
They're awesome.
The Mac Pro towers, especially the cheese grater, is like a classic car.
Yeah.
It just and functionally it was great.
Look at all those blue links. Look at all those blue links for
Oh, yeah.
QuickTime. For QuickTime 4. Jeez. We've come so far. It's come so far. No, it's good to look back, and I think there's always a good chance. Just like there's art history. I think there should be like a design history. There probably is a design history in school for anything like this to see where you came from. How did we get here? How did we learn the positives or negatives of this? Literally from doing it for all this time, right? I don't design things or do videos even the way I did 10 years ago.
Sure.
Right. So. It's really good. So again, that is the webdesignmuseum.org. Peek in there, follow them on your social media of choice. It looks like they're on most of the important ones, and you'll get kind of a daily dose of that too.
Real quick before you move on to that, just to give a reference, this is my iPhone 13 Pro Max.
Yes.
This is an iPod Touch.
That's fantastic.
Which is pretty much the size of
it's basically the same size as an iPhone.
Yeah, the original and the 3.
Yeah, the 3.5-inch screen there.
That's all we had. And then there's so much bevel on there too.
And this thing was massive.
Yeah.
Because before this, all the you had the flip phone with a little very low resolution, or I had a Palm 1.
I always and on that flip phone, I played so much Tetris and Doom RPG on it. You know, so yeah, that's a good look back there. Enjoy that if you will. Kit, what is your awesome thing of the week?
Well, when you asked me, it immediately came to mind. I'm lucky enough. I'm bumping around and going to meet a bunch of founders around the city. And today, I made a visit to a place I'd really been wanting to go for months. It's called Tronics 3D, and it's over in Homewood, in the giant warehouse building. And it is the most. I was a kid in a Candyland. It was industrial additive manufacturing, 3D printing machines throughout the space, throughout this massive space. Everybody's working, making like what most people think of 3D printing is we probably all seen it, right? The additive and it prints out, and it's a cool, very early prototype. Well, these were ready for prime time, like DoD type quality, and the production velocity, and just the science and the art behind these guys. I want everybody to come and see. Yeah, I'm glad you're showing some of the video. This whole region actually has one of its strengths that we're finally leaning into, is the ability of additive manufacturing and building things that are quick and bespoke. And one of my favorite things about these guys is they're sort of your adjunct, ad hoc 3D designers. So if you're not a big team or you don't have that specialty, you can use them as a contractor and get, I mean, when I tell you like the size and scope and variations on what was being made over there, on these machines that were the size of a car, and showing me how they're reusing most of their materials, some of the biggest names in the world that you would hear and know, and then some of the fastest growing startups in the region using these to catalyze just making actual products, not just the prototypes.
So okay, so it's not just
no, these are real.
That's amazing. So
yeah.
it is actually like how, like, I remember listening to manufacturing startups say, yeah, we had to send a prototype to China, we get one back when you get tested, and it's a whole process. This is that process.
This is that
in
process.
a nutshell.
In a nutshell, it's done in one place with the state of the art products. I mean, the one situation that Mike, the founder and the owner, who's a wizard, was telling me is that they were basically being shopped against a company that was doing like die casting for metal pieces, and they were able to do it on a industrial electronic manifold that was so discreet, like the little artisanal pieces in it with screws in it and everything, was printed 10 feet from me in Homewood.
Jeez. And
they're making thousands of pieces for pretty industrial use cases.
That's amazing. Like I know there's we work with the Formula in Baja, and I know they would send things out for 3D printing and stuff like that. Like this is beyond that.
Yeah.
But do they do one-off things like that as well, or is it more kind of mass?
No, they're I know there's a big backlog, so they're massively hiring and scaling. I think they're at the stage where it's serious orders.
That's all they can. That's probably all they can.
Yeah.
That's the what's coming in, and you have to compete against right now, right? So yeah. Oh man, that's
it's cool
incredible.
to see it right in our backyard.
That's incredible. Yeah. And this is beyond like I remember. Seeing the old, this is more than the what was it, Tech Shop and stuff like that, right? I think we talked about it a couple weeks ago. I got to visit the University of Michigan's shop where they do their Baja Formula Aero teams, right? And other teams that I don't even know about. And it's like a mini tech shop because they got all the CNC machines. They have, all those kinds of cutters and things like that. It looked a lot like what I remember from Tech Shop visiting it back in the day when I was here. So that's very cool. Cool. I got the videos to work. There's that weird skip ahead thing is coming, and there is a giant machine behind.
And they're everywhere in that place. Yeah. There's like all kinds of shapes, sizes, colors of industrial 3D printing equipment.
Mm-hmm. That's fantastic. So that is Tronic 3D. How's that spelled again?
Tronics 3D.
Tronics. That's with an X. 3D. So you can go check that out. That's awesome. And there's some cool videos on there about that. Like we were looking at videos. I was trying to pull up the one. There was one that looked like from the convention and stuff where they had a lot of their product that they're working on. So this is, man, that really, and you're also doing 3D scanning, it seems.
I do see that. Yeah.
So interesting. Well, we were.
And
Go ahead.
sorry, sir. I would say I love also the fact they're actually inside the city limits.
Yeah, that's right. That's cool.
The fact that and being in Homewood,
Yeah.
which is not it's close to East Liberty, which is a kind of a booming redone area, to put it nicely. But Homewood has not gotten a lot of the boost up, lift up that a lot of the other areas in Pittsburgh has.
Well,
So-
recently there's a lot of growth, and
Yeah.
and the good news is it's thoughtful growth,
Good.
where the community has
Yeah.
a lot of the input and both on what goes in there and how fast and what's supposed to grow there.
This is the area kind of east of East Liberty, right?
Yes, I mean
Okay.
you're literally. I mean, most people in the East End are either driving in Homewood or by it
Okay.
every day.
I need to refresh my geography. I don't go around the city too much anymore. That's the other thing post COVID that I haven't. I was like, oh, I haven't been here in a few years. In
Well, you're
this
a
part of
classic
town.
Pittsburgher, right? Like you're down here and then near South Hills. And
Typically, but like I feel like I've been very anti because I'm not afraid to bounce around town
Totally,
for the day. And also like once a week I'm going up to New Kensington to do our training nights and everything, right? So it's just I don't know. I feel like I'm auxiliary Pittsburgh these days more than anything. It's just where the work's been, or traveling like Florida, really auxiliary. It's basically second Pittsburgh. There's plenty of Steelers bars. Potter, what is your awesome thing?
Yep. So this is something I found just happening to go through CapCut today. I was just working on CapCut, trying to throw something together, and then I noticed at the bottom it said AI generation. I'm like, okay, there's AI everywhere,
Yep.
and they
How
do
are
have
how are you applying it today?
Yeah, well, honestly, in this case, I wasn't looking for AI. I was just looking for CapCut to throw a couple still images into a video show. Then I noticed that they're adding a lot of AI stuff inside of CapCut. So the two things I tried out, one, you can have a virtual person added to a video. So I took a clip from Fishing Without Bait, and I just did a quick play with. So I just added a young lady. You can actually select different people. So there's different types of people you can add in. Some people are standing. Some people they look like they're holding the phone, so their arms up. You have the one I selected, they were walking. So it looks like someone doing a walk and talk. And basically in her generated voice was saying exactly what Jim was saying. Now, it does require you to upload to their server. So it's not done on device. Something to think about.
So I'm having
But it's very quick.
I'm having the playback speed issue here. Oh, I think I got it working now. So here's the video. This is one of the videos that we do, and she's like walking ahead, and she's basically saying the exact same thing that he is, right?
Exactly.
And this is a purely AI generated her mouth movements, her movements in general. So I think it's interesting because we always laugh about how Jim has got a face for radio, like this is self depreciating himself. And it says, we recently talked about social media influencers. He's like, if I was an attractive lady, I'd probably get a lot more hits saying exactly the same thing. And I was like, yeah, that's probably true. That's why this podcast probably doesn't have as many eyeballs as it could. But hey, I mean, I'm not, listen, we have such a sexy lined up here. I'm not saying anything. But yeah, but it was just like, I can't wait to show him this and be like, and you just showed it me this afternoon over on Slack, right?
Yeah.
I was like, I can't wait to show him. He's like, I'm like, Jim, we found our answer. We found our answer. We can A/B test
Now,
this.
the weird thing is you can also customize her. So if you wanted someone a little bit heavier or a little thinner, you could do that.
I complete body type, right?
Well, body type, and I didn't check for the males, but there are a certain parts of the body on the female you can say larger or smaller.
Like it's a setting in there?
Yeah, it's a slider.
Let's not answer. We'll spell this out.
Boobs.
You're telling me there's a boob size
There's a
lever
boob slider
on the AI on
Yeah.
CapCut.
Yeah. So you can make her The image I had there was on the largest.
Okay. Thanks for.
Well, and in terms of, it's not, comically
Yes.
or excessively distractingly large.
We were recently trying to recreate some of our friends' pictures in, I think
Exactly.
we were using Dolly on Motion Array, and it kept attempting to enhance certain aspects of them, and we're like, no, stop being horny, AI. So and it's like, it was weird because it's like dealing with Dolly is like a text-based version of, how like you put like something into water and displaces things over in this other way. It's like that. You're trying to overcorrect this thing here, and it just moves the problem to another part of the body, right? Or another part of the picture. It's such an interesting A/B. And I talked about this before. My wife is an English major, so her prompts for AI are much more detailed than mine. I don't have that detail ability she does. And I talked about on the show. She's recreated this scene behind Kit, the couch, the stuff on the wall, the baffling on the wall for the sound. Like, it looks so good. Right. But they make Dutters look like a Barbie doll, or Riz looks definitely not like Riz, and one's standing on each other's head sometimes, and it's still as you're trying to fix this little detail, then like something goes off like this way. And I know it's still growing and everything, and we're learning how to contend with it and build the things we want verbally, but still, like, she was able to accomplish so much. But this is funny because I also stumbled on an AI CapCut thing. This was going to be my awesome thing of the week, but we'll roll into this because we've been you and I have been really kind of working on like clips for this show, for some other podcasts and things and like that. And I've been using, I talk about Content Groove that would take an ingest the thing and say, we'll give you 10 clips and you can pull those out and completely do all this stuff. I don't like the tools. I just use it to find the clips, pull the videos out, and go to CapCut and do the stuff. I was using CapCut just last night, and you can upload your, let's say, a video, an interview, a podcast, something like that, and it will spit out, oh my God, I have 20 clips from last week's show. And they look relatively viable. Starting last night, and you're going to notice they're the ones, and again, something happens when I hook this thing up where it does like fast speed on videos. But anyways, it doesn't look like this. So it's doing all the motion, like you see. There's a little bit of AI follow on that. They went ahead and did all the captioning and everything. And I can go in, like if you save out of this, you won't get everything that I want. It'll go right into edit. You can save this out. I always save out the text file and then plug that into ChatGPT to give me my hashtags and stuff, so I can flow through things a little easier. So that is astonishing. Wow. And if their AI is doing it, since CapCut is owned by TikTok, they're probably making things that'll do well on TikTok. Instead of me trying to figure it out, why don't you figure out what's good about my content that works for you? And that's this week's experiment. We're dumping a lot of stuff out of AwesomeCast because it's free. I don't think you have to be a pro member to use it.
Okay, I was going to ask. The AI that I use was free.
Yes, I think
there are certain things which are pro.
All of them are, and they're gonna be pro soon enough after they get enough. After everybody gets it. Listen. We know these app providers are like drug dealers. First one's free, and gets you hooked in it, and it's part of your workflow. Okay, it's this much. Or it'll probably just be part of what we pay, $7-8 a month for, right? But man, if this gets good, now I'm not subscribing to the other thing. That's what happened with ChatGPT we talked about a few weeks ago. I had a specific other thing that could take a script and do this. Now, and I was paying for Motion Array, and now all those are happening in ChatGPT. Plus so much more. It's incredible. Have you been playing with the AI stuff much, Kit?
Hours a day.
For fun and profit, right?
Yes. Work and play.
Yes, yeah. I don't get enough play in there is my problem. I don't get enough, like, I need to sit here and just poke at things, It is I need to get something done, and okay, I got a little bit of time. Can I solve this problem quicker? Can I try this? Somebody said this on a podcast. I think I'm going to try that. Like that's like whenever a podcast lets a little bit of the secret juice slide about what they're doing on the background, I'm like, oh, okay.
Oh, sure.
I take notes from that. That's that informs a lot of things. So
The other thing I want to mention real quick, also, there's an AI poster creator.
Yes.
That I played with. So you upload an image.
Where'd you post that?
I posted it in Slack.
Okay, I'll go.
Yeah. So you put in a description. You can either do a simple one or an advanced one. There's 2 different options. Advanced has a lot more feels. Simple just kind of gives it. You upload an image, and it gives you around 20 different. Here's some ideas. So I took the picture that Ruth took of the jewelry she sells.
Do I have to show this every time I do your Patreon now?
Yeah, that would be great. Yes. And then I upload, basically the elegant jewelry, make a statement with their bold design. That was all AI generated text. I was able to edit it for the website to put the correct website in. And now a couple of the images, they kind of squished the image of the necklace. They didn't keep the proportion right, but the layout, the color of the whole shading, that was all on the AI.
So wait,
and it was relatively quick.
Was
too.
the necklace? I missed it. Was the necklace self-generated, or is that one of her products?
No, that's
one of her products.
That's the product that Ruth took a picture of.
This looks just like something that's out of like Spark. Well, I guess it's Adobe Express now, but Spark AI. Adobe Spark, not Spark. I want to put AI in front of everything too. So now CapCut is doing this.
Yeah.
Jeez, those guys are gonna end up being like.
And you even select what you want.
They're going to become a major Adobe competitor at this rate.
I mean, you even put down what you want. So do you want to have it as marketing? Yeah. Do you want to have it as this? How do you want your text to be? Exactly. I even said jewelry. So it knew when I put in, $5 jewelry, paparazzi, blah, 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 blah. It gave that as a category down below. Yeah. So it even categorized everything off of the text I put in.
That is, and that's a big thing because I am versed in most of this stuff, right? I've been doing design, I've done video, and the thing that I'm the worst at is like the idea starter, right? I cannot design you something from scratch. That is not my superpower. But okay, if it looks like this and this and this, okay, I can go off of that, right? This is incredible for that. Hey, I need something that looks like this, but this, like that, and that thing where I love the idea that goes around with AI is like this enables people. We can talk about artists and takes away jobs and things like that, but this democratizes art a little bit. It gets you like you have this idea and a vision in your head, you have no idea how to convey it. Yeah. If you can translate that into words, whatever you're the best at, hopefully words. Or draw a sketch. I've seen a thing in Adobe where somebody will draw a sketch of something, import it in, and have AI generate something to the sight lines and everything, right? Like that's incredible, right? And it opens things up. My wife is not, she says she is not an artistic person. I think she's lying. But she's a very detailed person. And she can plug that stuff in there, create something that she never would have sat on Photoshop and been able to do, right? Because that's not her wheelhouse, but she's able to expand into it. She has just enough art to get in trouble in her head. Sure. And it works out pretty. And now she does web design. So, no, I think that's the biggest thing that really opens that up and allows somebody like Rose Jewelry Fair at rosejewelryfair.com. I'll get the Patreon plug out early, to create something when you're a solo entrepreneur like this, hey, you could have hired an artist, but you probably weren't going to hire an artist anyways, No. So
no. I don't know how much Ruth will use this for, because she's very good at this. Okay. So she does her own thing, but she may use this as a stepping off point because she used CapCut for other things. Yes. Or does she really want to give up the control?
That price of CapCut's going to go up.
Oh, it has to.
It will be going up. It will be $10 by the end of the year. Easy, and
that's per month, right?
And the way they're going, it's probably worth $20. To be quite honest, it will be $20 within a couple years, I think.
And like I said, it's almost an Adobe. It's going to be an Adobe, because most people are not creating. Now, if you want to create for movies or TV shows or
No, no. That's
it's
for
not going to be.
us.
But most people are going to are creating for computers, or really, most people are creating for cell phones or for social
That's the
media.
biggest thing. Like we are good about having conversations, and then we need help taking those conversations and putting it in front of other people, right? Like we're good at this. How does that translate? And we had this conversation with Treasures. You're your own media company. Well, I'm good at doing things in the ring. Well, you have to get good at the other things if you want people to take you seriously. I'm having like almost an argument with somebody over their video quality lately. I was like, no, stop doing things the stupid way. No, spend $5 for the app. That is going to give you light years and make you look more professional. Don't leave the damn watermark on there. Yeah. This is like, you don't realize how easy you have it. Go that baby step, because that baby step was a mile before.
100%.
10 years ago. Yeah. That's a whole other rant. We'll save that for Patreon maybe. So, anyways, have you been poking around CapCut at all, Kit?
Yeah, a lot. I mean, in the past year, I've probably tripled my use of it.
Yeah, same here.
Absolutely.
Same here. And again, like it's absorbing things. It's absorbing things I used other things for.
Absolutely.
And I'm a Final Cut person. I'm a professional editor person,
okay.
right? I've been Premiere. I've done all those. Dipped a toe in Avid back in the day, and part of me is like, well, why am I using this? I have the Pro Tool, and I was like, yeah, but this does it so much quicker, and it does this, and it does a thing I have to create over here. It's like, kind of getting it's okay if I don't make everything from scratch is a thing I had to get over,
Yeah, as a purist.
I was like, no, it's okay to use a template, because it turns out, as I was doing some job interviews in the recent months, everybody's using templates. Everybody's using templates, unless they really got to have a custom, super customized TV thing. But still, the video editors are using templates after that. All those match graphics aren't being created by hand.
Right.
So, anyways. Well, guys, we got a great community over on Facebook. We have a Facebook group where a lot of people are sharing stories throughout the week. We do have a Discord. We're on basically every social media. Just signed up for Blue Sky. Not a lot there, but be one of the first to follow us. Maybe I'm the first. Actually, I didn't follow my own accounts on Blue Sky this week. I realized, because I went to retweet it. I'm like, why is it in my feed? It turns out I'm the worst supporter of my own products. But you guys can also support the show too at patreon.com/awesomecast, including our friends that are supporting the show currently. At the executive producer level, Cynthia Klosky is still up there, as well as at the fan of the show level, Michael Fedor, Matt Weller, John DeGore, and Dave Podner at wait, I gotta get that graphic up there at oh no, I lost it. Dave Podner, and you can check out Dave's wife at Roosterly Affair at roosterlyaffair.com. Elegant jewelry, make a statement with our bold designs, high quality materials
for only $5.
Selected, and the designs. Yeah, the font color on here
it's
a little hard to read on this. Well, I'm also on a mini monitor on vMix, so it's having trouble. But thank you guys so much. Patreon.com/AwesomeCast. We do have some conversation afterwards. Maybe less awesome things, maybe things we don't want to talk about fully out there publicly, or whatever the case may be. But we'd like to have a little bit of fun here after the show before we get to the next podcast, and we'd like to put that out there for you for some further conversation. All right, let's get into the news. And I still don't have Kid Mental's plugs in here, because now I miss him. Now he's part of the Kid Mental was here, and he made these great sounders for us, right? And he came in here and he brought his board and he was doing it. It was really organic. And now I miss them. Now I'm like, man, I don't know about sounders. And now I'm like, I miss the sounders, because I need that yep, it's the news. By the way, a shout out while we're at it. Kid Mental actually did show up on your Jagoff's show down there at Q92, right? I keep forgetting. Sorry, I don't listen to the radio. So I keep forgetting what they are. I just know I found out where Bob lives of Bob FM. I did find that out last time I visited. But anyways, on the Late Night with the Jagoffs on the radio and over on their podcast feed and video, our friend Kid Mental was the featured guest, and he did a lot of fun improv stuff with them, cool. Music-wise and everything. They just gave him a bunch of lines, and he made have you ever seen Kid Mental? Yeah. He's great. Does some really cool stuff around the city. So I just want to give that shout out to our friends at Jagoff and Kid Mental out there too. So let's get into the news. Yeah, that jingle's in my head again. Damn it. I gotta fix that. Where are we at? Dave, you caught wind of something new that came out of Apple today.
Yeah, actually, came out yesterday. Sorry, and there was rumors that Apple was going to come out with, a updated 13 and 15-inch MacBook Airs with the new chips.
Turns out.
And yeah, and everyone's like, "Oh, when Apple's going to have their March event?" No, they just had a press release and says, "Hey, we have an update."
Mm-hmm.
So
That's all you need. It's a laptop.
There's heavy thoughts. Well, there's also heavy. Now, will they have one for a possible updated iPad Pro that may have an OLED screen? Is that enough to have an event over, or probably not?
I don't think so.
No.
No. The big thing is that they moved from the M2 chips to the M3 chips, and same price as the M2.
And
so just like
the biggest news, bigger than that, Dave, the wedge is gone.
Yes.
The wedge.
So
is gone.
so the M1 chip computer, the wedge is gone. So they do have the M2, the base M2 for cheap. So that's your sub $1,000. But yeah, so basically all they did was swap out chips.
Isn't this
but
fun?
They kept the price the same. So that's nice.
It's fun to watch the website with all the moving spinning laptops compared to what we just saw from the G4
that's true, yeah.
tower. So what would you say they start at?
Well, the M
I guess I can hit
the
order now.
M3s I think start 1,100.
Yep, $10.99.
$10.99, but that's like
good start.
But that's like base. That's like 8 gigs of memory and 256 hard drive.
I will think of this tip to everybody, because somebody was like, "How do I buy a new laptop?" And I was like, "Get at least 16 gigabytes RAM and buy as much as you can of everything else." Yeah. That's it. Don't get a Celeron if you're looking at PC. Make sure it's an i5 at least, whatever the newest generation is, or like, I mean, if you get an older, it's probably a generation or two behind, but that should be fine. You want to. Here's the seat. What are we up to? 12th generation with Intels these days?
Yeah,
12,
I think they just go back
12-ish
now.
Let's say 12-ish.
Yeah.
I bought a 9th generation one. I was putting a computer in over the summer that we run graphics on, because I wanted the form factor. I was more worried about that. And most of the stuff we run, including this show at this moment, are 4th generation PCs. Like 4th generation, and it's like 10 years old at this point.
Yeah.
And as long as they're still running, we good. They're an appliance. They do the thing. You're on Skype on one. I'm on vMix on the other one. Like I got, also we're not making them do absolutely everything. There's a stream, there's graphics, that's it. They're good. Let's see. That's CPU sitting at 16% with the show right now. We're good to go for a bit. Anyways,
now the one change they did make, and for people with PCs, we understand this. Even the old MacBook Airs that ran Intel chips, they could do this. If you close the lid, you can do 2 external displays.
Nice.
Running at 5K resolution, or if you have the laptop open, you can have one external for 6K.
Oh, interesting. You
still need a keyboard,
but you can't have 2 external with the laptop open.
Yeah. But
which is literally what I'm running right now on my work computer.
Okay. Which one are you running right now? Or that's a PC?
It's an i7.
Okay.
No, it's a Dell Latitude.
Okay.
So it's an old computer. It's 4 or 5 years old. So yeah, it's one of those things of, yes, Apple, you should be able to do this.
Not the worst webcam. Are you using the onboard webcam, or do you have a
onboard?
Okay. Yeah, we gotta send you a Logitech. Maybe one of those we were talking about last week. Anyways, it's time.
Or get one of those. You get the AI one from Chilla.
Well, we're lucky. You have an amazing microphone because you already do another podcast, and
so I have that.
I don't have to worry about that.
I have a 7-year-old microphone.
Oh, dude, these shorts are. I think we watched these shorts when 7, 8 years ago when we started the studio. But we usually send headsets to people that do shows regularly if they're not already like on top of things. But man, let's get Dave a new webcam for sure. I mean, it's not too bad there. I don't know. That frame rate's not the greatest. I mean, we're not going to give you...
I'm guessing the frame rate's more on the fact that I'm on the our router is downstairs on the opposite side.
Yeah,
of the
that doesn't
house.
help. That doesn't help. I mean, we're
And the
not
fact
gonna...
that Ruth's also having a live broadcast also right now.
Oh, look at this multimedia household going on over here. You're giving Chilla a run for his money. Look at that. I was going to say, we're not going to get you the big 4K AI-driven one that does the dramatic pauses or dramatic zoom-ins every time. Every time Chilla scratches his nose or gets up in the middle of the thing or waves his hands or anything like that. But, you know, we should probably update a little something for you over there. You've earned it, Dave. You've earned it. So keep those Patreons coming so we can give him a new camera. So Doom, the classic Doom. What can we play? I remember. Do you remember when somebody loaded Doom on the Touch Bar on a MacBook Pro at one point?
Yeah.
You know, things like that. You know, the just the most ridiculous thing. There was I think there was a story a couple months ago that somebody was running Doom on a cellular bio pattern or something like that. Something weird, right? You know, it's like, will it run Doom? I got a new one for you guys. It took me a second to wrap my head around this, but apparently you can run Doom on and I'm gonna abuse this. Oh no, the videos aren't playing on here. You can play Doom. Let me get you a still here so you can see it. I looked at this and I had to look at it twice because I was like, oh, you can now run it on this. And I'm like, what is this device? There's a little screen on it and you see a knob. This is a lawnmower.
Come on.
This is the Roomba of lawnmowers, the Husqvarna lawnmower. Those things that were bugging me at M City running around while we were setting up the one time. We were like, this is bad for automated cars. Yes, you can run Doom on your lawnmower this summer.
Tractor.
Yeah, the little lawnmower thing deal. I don't know. I got a city lot, and it's like I don't want to take. It's a pain to go out and mow this little lot, but I'm like, do I just want to send an automated mower out? What will happen? Will it start going down the road? I don't know. So yeah. So new thing you can do with your lawnmower. Jeez. What else we got here? Potter, you got a couple of things. Let's Kid, have you seen the Sora AI samples?
I'm obsessed with it. In fact, I'm as obsessed with the possibilities of it, and it's such a it's my favorite IG channel to follow because they just flex every day with a new one every day, and it beats the day before.
Can you explain what this is about from your obsessed mindset?
Yeah, 100%. So as much as we are enamored now with the ability to go text to image, the future is already here because they're already releasing previews, just glimpses of text to contextualize video. And so, and it's funny because some of the OpenAI team will actually respond to requests for prompts, and those will end up as their featured IG post for the day. Today was when I say photorealistic, like the wind, the subtle breaths, the hair, just the little things that, you know, like, I think what somebody said it best was like, dude, hopefully, does everybody remember the Will Smith spaghetti pic, the generated video where he had like 3 hands and there was spaghetti coming everywhere? And
like the early Dolly stuff?
Yeah, it was Dolly.
Yeah.
That was less than a year ago. Now it's poetry.
It's a woman walking down the street with the wet streets, and it looks like a Japanese, Asian kind of cityscape kind of situation.
Her hands and face look hyper realistic, right? I mean, the inequities of the previous text to video are gone. So this is motion picture quality.
Yeah, it looks like a CG. It looks like Ice Age. These woolly mammoths walking through the snow.
By the way, that one was they actually told on themselves. They said they actually have a problem with that because the woolly mammoths come out of nowhere forever.
Oh, okay.
So we're not like fully baked, but like we're just seeing that this is possible right now.
Yeah.
Is just next level.
This is crazy. And
the Spaceman one is to me because you're seeing the eyes. The woman in Tokyo, it says a stylish woman walks down a Tokyo street filled with warm, glowing neon and animated street. It's a paragraph plus. Something that Missy would do
Yeah, the prompts will be-
to get a good image. But when you get someone's eyes in the image that's computer generated and it looks normal, the face and the eyes look like a human being and not
and the
that
reflections.
uncanny valley. Now, the one thing is, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think these are all silent videos.
I believe so.
Yeah, I haven't seen.
So
sound
there are
yet.
there's no audio.
Right.
Are these are these
That's a completely separate thing.
This is two battleships battling as they sail in a cup of coffee.
Right.
That's amazing. Yeah. I mean, every once in a while you do get some weird stuff that pops out there. I know they were kind of like this guy's fingers look a little too long here, right? Like little things you might be picking up, but also like I feel like we've been looking at the photos for so long. We're starting to be like, I don't know about that. And there's like, it's not uncanny valley. It's weird. There's like an overshininess to it sometimes, right? I know that's been a big thing with imagery, right? And you have to like, no, more like this, more like this. Because if you just put, I want this, it's usually a shiny photo.
It's usually it's usually futuristic. I always ask for photorealistic images to kind of tone down the space age feel of it. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, geez, I haven't seen some. Some of these are. I think they must have put up since I've been on. Before there's somebody there's a little guy inside a globe and you're kind of got a close up on it, like all the reflections and everything. There's a close up of an eyeball. That's
I also like the debate it's caused around like what does this actually mean for generative technology in general. And the two sides are basically like run for the hills, right? They come for our jobs. But I think that this actually makes tons more people makers. It allows people to use their actual inspiration with accessible technology. And frankly, I mean, half the debate is, can these actually do full-length features? And obviously, no.
No,
right now.
no, not now. Not now.
Not
for
now.
sure, not now.
Yeah.
But you can see why, after all the SAG debates over the last year over AI, I think they would have been a little more fired up after seeing
Had they
this.
known that this was possible.
And they yeah, absolutely, even more so, right? Seeing the generation of people and things like that is astounding. And you're like, you are a little bit like what you can do, but also like they have to productize this. We're not going to be spending $20 and be able to generate these crazy images. This is a lot of horsepower. And we're already talking about you paying $20 for ChatGPT is not fixing the bank accounts. You know what I mean? For as much goes into you being able to do a summary of your little podcast. No, that's not where these guys are going.
Yeah.
This is going to be like, it's not going to be as expensive as a Pixar rig, but it will still be outside of the realm for most people, I think.
I don't think that's OpenAI's the way that they go to market.
You think it'll be? It's still got to be more.
I think it'll be like prosumer.
Okay, prosumer. Yeah. Okay, I got you there. Yeah. I got you there. Like there's still
well,
go ahead.
I would say the head of OpenAI just asked for $7 trillion in funding.
I thought, wasn't that for chip infrastructure? Because he wants to make sure NVIDIA isn't the only game in town.
Partially, but still $7 trillion.
Well, so that number was bandied about and read a lot of headlines, but the smarter thinking around it more recently was that might have been the overall valuation of the project he was undergoing, specifically chips, and he's even dumbed down that number as just out of control.
Yeah. But the other thing that we're going to have to deal with is power generation, because this much processing takes power, and how much. You're coming out, you're doing all this. That's wonderful. Are you going to have to basically build a coal power plant next to your generator? Because renewables will not be enough.
Yeah.
You're going to have to say, we're going to build a nuclear power plant solely for AI generation. Given the amount of, or put it somewhere where there's a dam nearby, or like solar and wind are not, they're good for supplemental, but they're not good consistent. So you need that base of we're guaranteeing this this large amount of power will be running all the time.
There's enough money for them to figure it out. Thing at play here, right? The possibilities. You know, we have this argument about electric cars all the time and say, oh, but the infrastructure in California says they're going to do this by 28 or 35 or what it is, make everything electric cars and everything. It's like, there's enough money here. There's enough. Like electric cars, I end up in a room with 250 kids every year trying to figure this out at Tesla, right? Like somebody's going to figure this out. You know, like there's a ton. Same with automated cars. There's a ton of brilliant minds and some that aren't even out of school yet that are going to figure this out, and that's coming.
Well, and remember, the same way that we had a good laugh at some of that UI and UX of the museum, it's the same way we're going to talk about the state of Gen AI right now.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's literally we're in the earliest days. You know, it's a lot more. The wow is a lot bigger, but we're still at that stage.
Absolutely, Kit. You got your finger on the pulse of things, especially here in Pittsburgh. Where can people find out about that?
Locally?
Yes.
So we just this year we made some strategic changes with Rust Build. We stepped back from programming, and we were running a white label community platform since COVID, just to try to convene people. My co-founder and I, that we do most everything together, both for profit, for good. He and I just looked at each other and said, so we're also building a company called Skill Builder. And just from what the actual community needs and what we're able to scale and have capacity for, we decided to go deep into the one resource that seems to have the most impact and reach, and that's the Pittsburgh Startup News. That is the newsletter that most people in the startup community, now growing over 8,000 people, designers, developers, storytellers, investors, service providers, economic development experts, they stay connected with the latest news, events, opportunities, and resources. And so now we're really doubling down on it. We're going to add more thoughtful deep dives, actual first person coverage of actually the people building the companies and the trends impacting them, as well as kind of syndicating the most relevant news and resources and events. So we've just gotten really focused on Pittsburgh Startup News. We will try to go deeper in what the tactical stuff that we can give. We want people to stay informed, but we also want them to have some resources and tools. So we're doubling down on that. And then to sustain and grow that, we're going to introduce a very modest subscription starting in April. It's $1 for students. It's $10 for founders a year. And then there's supporters. So that's our brand new news for this year. So we stepped back from programming. We sunsetted the white label platform for a million reasons. One, only a little over 2% of the content on that white label platform was community driven. A lot of it was me posting it. And so that was helpful for everybody, but I just don't think the engagement was there. So we're redoubling our efforts on the thing that's working. And people, the thing that people even outside of Pittsburgh are like, I really appreciate in 5 minutes a week, I can stay connected.
Yeah, absolutely. It's that little like reminders like, hey, look at what's going on around here.
Yeah, it's a quick snapshot. It shows momentum, the density, the actual things people are building. And we're pretty militant about the audience. This is people building companies.
Yes.
If you're in and you're getting your hands dirty and your teeth kicked in and you need to know that other crazy people are trying to put stuff into the universe, and B, that there's resources to catalyze that, that's what we're here.
This is kind of the evolution of, like, I remember 10 years ago, being involved a lot, seeing the old Alpha Lab meetups, seeing the startup weekends, and all that kind of stuff. That's where I learned about a lot of that, what was happening there. It was really exciting to be around that and see that and capture and stream some of it, over the years. So that's cool. And that's one nice thing that's in my inbox every week, and I get to get a glance at what's going on.
8:30 on Mondays. Yeah, it's free for the next 2 weeks, and then it's $1 for students, and it'll be $10 for founders a year.
There you go. It's worth it. It's worth it. If you're into this, it's worth it. If you're doing something, if you're building something, you want to know what's going on in Pittsburgh, it's going to be worth it.
Thanks.
So go check that out. And then Skill Builders, again, so this is a offshoot of Skill Builders. This is a separate
Skill Builder
entity,
is. I'm back at Adam and I are back in the founder seat. So
yes.
He and I have worn a lot of hats: investors, instigators, community builders, and he had been. he had an applied research lab at Carnegie Mellon for I think about 5 years, and he had developed some learnings and tools that we are implementing in SkillBuilder. SkillBuilder, I think most people last year knew it as a AI-powered Q&A database. And more recently, we've been able to talk about sort of the bigger vision and what actually people are piloting now, and that's a digital salesperson. So by inventorying your most frequently asked questions, collaborating with your team on the most credible answers, you're training a model to actually augment your inbound sales force. So we have about a couple dozen pilots, paid pilots in the region right now. We'll have tons more news to announce over the coming weeks. But skillbuilder.io, we're launching a new website next week. And we'll be able to kind of reveal all the actual people using it, where this is going, and what the state of the union is.
Are you on social or anything so we can keep an eye on what's going on?
Skillbuilder.io on everything.
Excellent. Go follow that stuff so you can see what's going on.
Thanks. Yeah.
Excellent. We're going to go to Patreon here after the show, and here you start thinking in your head. I want to see what is the wildest results you've gotten from AI in your experiments here, because I think we get some fun answers out of that. So, guys, thank you so much. Thank you, Dave Podner, of course. Go check out his iPhoneography podcast he does with some other fellows. If you like the idea of being better at your photography on your iPhone.
Yep. And honestly, if you don't use an iPhone, we still talk a lot of times about general photography tips too.
Yes, we got tips for you green bubbles out there too, right?
Yes. You poor unfortunate green bubble people. When honestly, we only mention the Samsung Moon thing once in a while.
There you go. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, Kip, for joining us. Thank you guys for joining us out there, whatever platform you're checking us out on. We are live every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern, and I think that is a fact for the foreseeable future. I don't think I have any Tuesday events. So thank you guys so much. You have been our awesome audience. Have an awesome week. This show is a member of the Sorgatron Media Podcast Network. Find out more at Sorgatron.